Hello, in this tutorial, I'll show you how to use Notion to create design systems. Here's a step-by-step guide on how to use Notion to create a design system or a design system. First thing you need to do is to log into your Notion workspace via the web app, which I have done right here. Then on the left sidebar, go ahead and click on this pencil icon next to your workspace to create a new page, or you can just click on an existing page that is empty. All right, so I'm just going to have to click on an existing page that's empty, which is here to do. And from this to do, you can definitely name the page as design system if you want to. Now let's follow the step. Punch the enter key. The next thing to do is to decide, you have to decide on the key components of your design system. Now, common sections include brand guidelines, color palettes, typography, component, UI elements, icons, spacing and layout, accessibility guidelines. Now, then you have to create a table or a database for the components. Now, if for components, you can create a table by typing the /table and selecting the table inline, and this will help you document UI components systematically. All right, so for database, go ahead and click on the / and type in database and choose database inline, and it's going to put in here. So in this untitled, I'm just going to make that design system again. Of course, you have to define your properties that add properties in your design system. Now, this could be component name. You can start with component name, and you can go over to add a description property and usage guideline and code snippets and status. Let's go over there and put that. So for this name, I'm editing it to component name, the component name of your design. And once you do that, here we have tags. This would be, I'm going to edit this property to, and then click on type. It's going to be the name. Okay. Text. And that's going to be name, description rather. Description. Then we can head over to this plus icon to add a new property, and that's going to be text property, which would be usage guidelines. Usage guidelines, and then the next property would be for codes. So if you have, let's say, like a formula, you can add a formula in here. You can just add a URL or any of these. That's if applicable to just include code snippet for developers. That if you have that, you can use URL, or you can use the formula. You can use I think you definitely URL is definitely going to help you with adding your codes, or you can even use the name to also add your codes if you want to. Then we can use status, which is select. So you can just use the status and show status, and these are the defaults. So we have not started, and then we have in progress, we have done, which is actually pretty cool for me. So you can just choose any of that. Now the component's name, that's the name of the UI component. Your component's name in here could actually be a button card. The name of your component name of that's of a design component. That could actually be a button card, and your description In description column is going to be a brief description of the component's purpose, and the usage guideline is going to include the best practices for using the component, and code that, if applicable, you can just add include code snippets. That's for developers, which I said earlier. And for status is to track if the component is designed or ready for development. Okay, so you can even, if for you to actually add a new component, if I don't want to use my status, I can just go ahead and click on status and click on edit property. And then for my edit property, I'm going to click on type and click on select so that I can customize my components to what I want it to be. So here are these options where I have not started. This would now be design and enter. And here we have in progress. This would be ready for development, and punch the enter key. And here we have done. It could be done as well. So once you click on the status tab, you can go ahead and add the status. You can also create a dedicated section for brand guidelines that you can use headings. So you can use headings, you can use text blocks, or you can use images to showcase your brand guidelines. So let's just go on a different tab. So over here, you can just use the / to use headings. It could be headings, it could be text blocks, or images to just show your brand guidelines. It could either be a brand logo and usage. You can use brand voice and messaging. You can use image styles and photographic guidelines, whichever one, using any of the other headings or text blocks or images to just show that. You can also create a table, a new table. So if you want to create a new entry, just go ahead and use / and choose anything you want to do. So if you're using a table, if you use a / you can see table in here where you can just create a new table. Now in this new table, you could include properties like color name, hex code, and usage. All right, and you can use colored blocks to just visually represent colors alongside their codes. And if you don't want to add a new table, you can also add a new property in here for you to add your color. That's the color name of your document or of your design, the color code. And also you can document your typography styles in a separate section. All right, adding font family as a table or a text of font weight and size, and even usage examples. You can just use create a new table for that. If you want to create a new table, just click on enter, and then it takes you to a different space, a new space. In that space, choose whatever you want to add. And then for each component in your component table, you can add images or screenshots to visually demonstrate the component. So you can add link to design files, or you can use toggle lists for detailed descriptions and variations. Now, once you're done with all of these, this should actually help. Okay, you can also embed resources, so that I'm not just going to forget about that. So use external design tools. If you use external design tools, you can embed links or documents directly in Notion. All you need to do is to just click on any of your components and use the / or so that's not bringing. So just, you have to create an empty space for that. So I'm deleting this, and the / just use / and embed. So once you click on embed, the embed in from the block options, you can add links to tools like Figma, Sketch, or Adobe XD. All right, and also you can document accessibility best practices relevant to your design system, which include color contrast ratios, text size recommendations, keyboard navigation deadlines. Just go ahead and add a text or add a table and just document that. I've shown you how to get that done. You can also set up a section or a separate database for collecting feedback on components, which include feedback requests, and that's linked to the component being reviewed, and also feedback status. That's to track whether feedback has been received, implemented, or needs more discussion. If your design system will evolve, go ahead and consider adding a version history section. Document updates, changes, or additions made to the design system over time. Then after you're done, go ahead and share your design with your team by using the share button at the top right corner. You can invite collaborators or set permissions for viewing and editing. Schedule regular reviews of the design system to keep it current, and use reminders or tags to ensure the team is on track with updates. So by following the steps, you have a comprehensive design system documented in Notion, making it easy for your team to access and contribute to the design process. So you can go over this tutorial from top to bottom to get acquainted with the steps, and once you're done, you'll be good to go. I hope this tutorial marvelously helped your search.